We pick up in the morning. We'll start in Fergus's room. Fergus, we pick up as you wake up. You wake up to a knock on your door, a dum 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 dum, loud knock, and you look over. The queen is like wrapped up in the covers on in the bed. She's sound asleep, and the sound from the other side of the door wakes her. She kind of her eyes kind of burst open, and she hops out of bed and begins putting her clothes on. And you hear from the other side of the door, "My queen, we're ready to leave." Seems you're sneaking away was good, but there's only so many places that she would have gone.
I kind of, I guess, like look over to her and just kind of whisper, I guess, like, are you sure you want to go? Or I guess more along the lines of like, you could come with me.
She's smiling in like I've said before with her. It's weird to see her sheepish or even shy. She's got such a powerful presence, but she does kind of smile, and her forked tongue kind of comes out, and she gives you one of these kind of like looks up and down, and she says, "You know, I'd love to, but I have responsibilities. Thousands of people need me."
Where can I find you?
She smiles and she says, "The swamps outside the city is where I normally my abode, but I like to come into the city when I can. So you can find me here or in the swamps. Just ask around. You'll be able to find me."
I shall. It was a pleasure getting to know you, and sorry our journey has been cut so short.
She finishes putting on her clothes. The pounding on the other side of the door. "Queen Tara, it's time to go." And the voice sounds commanding in a way that she kind of rolls her eyes like this is a normal occurrence of just sneaking away and not wanting to come out to do the duties of the job. She kind of rolls her eyes and she says, I'm coming. You just need to be patient." And you actually hear the person on the other side of the door kind of like grumble under their breath, but you can almost hear them stand like resolute on the other side of the door, waiting for her to come out patiently. And she comes over to you as you're kind of sitting on the edge of the bed. She leans in and gives you a kiss on the lips, and she kind of caresses your cheek, and she says, "It was a pleasure to meet you, Fergus, and I look forward to getting to know you more after your quest has been completed. And if you need anything
Likewise.
from me, I'm here for you in what ways I can be."
Do you likewise, do you have like a relic I can communicate with you via? I don't know, like a
No such thing. We try to keep things relatively low magic where I'm from. It keeps things safer. Magic is dangerous and chaotic. But as I said, there are other ways of communicating. If you'd like, I can send you with the name of a messenger who kind of travels around these areas. He is a parrot dealer. He deals in parrots, and the parrots fly around and give messages. He's one of ours.
Okay, sure. I'll relay any messages via this messenger.
She gives you a description of another lizard folk. He is eccentric sounding. He basically sounds like Steve Irwin if Steve Irwin was a lizard folk. She describes him as always wearing this kind of outback-like garb, bone tooth necklaces, and kind of shoddy-looking clothes. Talks with a this crikey kind of accent, and always has parrots on his shoulders. He's dressed kind of eccentrically with different colors and that kind of stuff. She says he's hard to miss. You wouldn't miss him. His name is, and she kind of like looks over to the door. as there's like a slight knocking on the door, like the guard is standing with his back to the door, like softly knocking, reminding her, and she kind of like rolls her eyes. One more kiss on the cheek, and she says, "His name is Styla." And then she finishes wrapping up her clothes and walks over to the door, opens it slowly, gives you a gentle wave, and walks out without looking back. The guard looks into the door, looks at you. He's this kind of burly lizard folk with a frilled mohawk, like, the scales kind of come up into fins like on the top of his head. It kind of makes like a mohawk kind of thing. He's like jet black scales. He kind of raises an eyebrow, suspicious eyebrow at you, and slams the door. And,
the I kind of just, I guess I just let out a sigh and just go and lay in bed for a little bit.
Okay. So Styla the parrot dealer is kind of an old-timey way of getting messages around, and it's actually pretty good for you to know a character like that can send messages for you in ways that aren't magical, because magical means can be pretty iffy sometimes. So he sounded pretty useful, and he's here in the city. She kind of gave you a rough location of where to find him, so cool. You can use him if you would like. Crocus, you wake up. Shisa, you also wake up, both of you, ready to go for the day, whatever your plans are for your character. I know, Crocus, you said you wanted to visit the library before you left town, so there might be some good information there for whatever you might be looking for, or it might be something that you circle around and do again next time you're in town. Whatever you're interested in, you can always talk with the group, or you can always do it yourself. But yeah, whichever one of you would like to make your first move, you wake up, kind of get your clothes on, get ready to go for the day. You haven't heard from anybody yet. Nobody's knocking on your door or anything. It's just another day. But in your brain, that sense of dread of knowing that you've got to keep moving, you can't stay in one place for too long, kind of creeps in.
I don't really know if there's anything to do for me besides like get on my way,
Mm-hmm. Head towards the temple.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the others, really. Mm-hmm. I just get ready to go.
Crocus?
To the library we go!
Okay. So Crocus, as you head out of your room, Shisa, you're standing in the hallway, just kind of coming out of your room at the same time. You both look at each other, and you don't see Fergus, but you know which room he's in. The suite at the end of the hall. So if you would like to go get him, you can, or Crocus, you can just go by yourself, whatever you want to do.
I think I'll go by myself.
Okay. So Crocus heads down the steps, and Shisa, you've got your kind of choice on what you would like to do. If you'd like to go try and wake Fergus up, if you'd like to go down and get some breakfast for yourself. Last you saw Terry too, he was kind of, you drunkenly led him to his room and left him off because he didn't want him sleeping downstairs and getting robbed or something. So you could always go get Terry too as well if you wanted.
You want me to? Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to check on Terry too, because God knows what's going on in that room. I mean, maybe I'll like pound on the door and see if he's alive, I guess, but I don't want to walk in and talk to us.
Okay. So as you pound on Terry 2's door, you get a very low on the other side of the door. A sign of life, but it doesn't seem like he's coming out at the moment. He's probably pretty hungover. If he doesn't know who it is, if you're just pounding on the door, he's probably not going to come to just some random person pounding on the door.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna walk away and be like,
yeah, he's safe and sound.
Make a mental note that he's fine.
Yep. Fergus, how long do you want to stay in bed?
I guess I like hear the commotion in the hallway, and I just get up and yeah.
Okay. So she says you're about to head down the steps. You see Fergus's door open, and Fergus kind of comes out, rubbing his eyes, waking up, yawning, and No queen in sight, even though you saw them kind of together heading up. Not sure where she might have gone, but as you two head down the steps, fresh breakfast is ready for you in the tavern. People are eating. The band is kind of groggily awake. They're all eating around a table, smoked meats and eggs and milk. And Crocus, you see the kind of tail end of her heading out towards the city, towards the library. Maybe grabbing a snack on the way or a loaf of bread to take with.
Is she going alone? Wait, are we all? I don't even remember why we're going to the library in the first place.
Yeah, you guys wouldn't even know that that's where she's headed. She's just headed
Oh, that's what I was saying. It's
Yeah.
like, we're going to the library? Why are we going
So
to
think
the
of how your
library?
characters might react to Crocus just leaving out the door without any explanation.
I think I would probably just ask Fergus. I'd be like, you know where she's going?
Nope. No idea.
All right. Well, I hope she comes back soon.
Yeah. Well.
You guys want to get some breakfast then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I don't know how much money you guys have, but breakfast would be 5 silver pieces for a full breakfast.
We're rich. What do you mean?
I know you've got a bunch of money, but 5 silver pieces is half a gold piece. So if you're both having breakfast, then just mark off a gold piece from one of your sheets.
Is the breakfast on you or me?
I'll get it. I'll get it.
Nice. Thank you.
Of course.
All right, Crocus. As you head towards the library, you were kind of given some directions on how to get there. It's a beautiful kind of rounded top building. It's got this beautiful glass architecture that makes up this dome, and then there's 2 pillars on either side that seem to have some rooms at the top of them. It's kind of this interesting architecture that lets in a lot of the sun in this area. Of course, it's kind of a coastal city, a lot of sun all the time. So as you open the door to the library, it's these 2 large glass double doors that you open up. And as you look in, it's these swirling staircases going up on either side of you, large stacks and stacks of books just laying on the floor or across the shelves that kind of line this circular room. You see in the middle of this large chamber, in the middle between 2 sets of spiral staircases, a large wooden desk, of which Leah is standing behind the counter. She's got some glasses that you hadn't seen before that are down on the tip of her nose, and she's flipping through a book. And as you come in, she doesn't have a smile on her face, with her tusks kind of poking out from underneath her bottom lip, but when she sees you, a big grin cracks across her face. She shuts the book, and some dust kind of comes up into her face, and she
Bless you.
puts the book down, and she very awkwardly goes, "No, bless you. Hi, Crocus.
Hi, Leia.
You came. Let me." She gets out from behind the desk, and she kind of brushes herself off. She's wearing this kind of yellow sundress that kind of shines in the sunlight as you both are illuminated by this, like I said, this dome of glass that's above you that just really brightens up this whole room. She says, "Is there anything you're looking for?"
I mean, yeah.
Like-
I also wanted to see you, but
Oh, she kind of like starts like rubbing her neck, and she looks nervous, and she says, it was I had fun last night. Yeah, let me show you around.
yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
She kind of like awkwardly like reaches her hand out and like looks away from you as she does it to like lead you.
Crocus takes her hand.
Okay, she leads you up the steps and she shows you around the building. It's a really, really beautiful library with pretty much every genre of book you can think of. As she shows you to the different, there's like little reading nooks, there's private rooms for people to study in, there's all kinds of cool like little artifacts on the shelves. Like one of the artifacts you see is like this kind of really beautiful looking blue shell that's in between these large books about the sea, like almost like an atlas of the seas. And there's like this really beautiful blue shell between them. You walk over to a section that's like a horror section, and there's a set of skulls that are separating the different like sections of horror, and they're like weird looking skulls. Like one of them looks like the skull of a some kind of like a simian, ape-like creature. One of them is the skull of like a snake, and its mouth is open with its fangs out. There's one that looks like the complete skeleton of a anglerfish of some kind that's kind of separating some of the books, and she's kind of showing you around Giddy, and she says, so like what kind of book are you what kind of
Looking for like books on like the old gods, maybe like Vivian.
Oh yeah, we have all kinds of books on the gods. Let me show you. And she kind of leads you up to one of the towers. Like I said, there were like these two towers on either side of the library. She leads you through a doorway and up a large spiral staircase to the top of one of those towers. And at the top, there are these golden inlaid books that are lining a circular room. They line all the way around. And next to each little shelf of these books, like little section, is a small marble statue of the god that they're about. And she kind of brings her glasses up from the bottom of her nose. She pushes them up and starts flipping with her fingers through some of the books, looking around at the different statues. And under her breath, she's going, Vivian, Vivian, Vivian. Here, right here. And you see a beautiful looking statue of this kind of elven looking goddess. She has this beautiful flowing dress. Of course, it's a marble statue, so there's no color to it, but you can tell that it's this beautiful flowing dress. She's holding on to a harp that she's beautifully playing, strumming through, and there are 3 books next to Vivian. One of them is Vivian A to Z, which is, as you're kind of flipping through it, Vivian A to Z is kind of a, like almost like a beginner's guide to Vivian, kind of thing. It's like something you would give to a teenager to learn about Vivian by themselves and kind of just get an idea of the lore behind Vivian and those kinds of things.
Right.
One of the books is it doesn't have a title on it, but it's just it's got kind of what looks like a world map on the front of it, and as you open it up, it's got spots marked that are like important to Vivian in some way. It's not a huge book, but it's got like 6 or 7 pages of maps in it, very thin. And then the last book is the Psalms of Vivian, Psalms, Psalms of Vivian, and it's got a bunch of music in it that is either about Vivian or said to have been written by Vivian during her lifetime on the planet.
Ooh. Locations.
The location book is one you kind of stop on and get a good look at. You ask Leah about the location of where you're at on the map that you're looking at, and she kind of points to it. And very nearby, you see a harp icon, what mark where Vivian's like locations are, or like what the important locations are. There's a harp icon very nearby.
Oh.
And she says, "Yeah, that's about a day's travel from here on foot. It's like an old abandoned temple. I don't really go there. It's kind of a tourist trap."
I've heard a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Just
Unless
just a
you think
little
it's fun,
bit.
I would go. But
I mean, I don't know. I guess we're going in the right direction, if that's a location.
it was said to be, something that was important. I'm not super familiar with the god. She kind of scratches her neck. It's not really my kind of thing. I'm not really into.
Do you have anything on like the 9 planes of hell by chance?
Ooh, that's deep. What do you need with the 9 planes of hell?
I'm just very curious about it.
Yeah, we do have a section, but it's well, it was ransacked a few weeks ago.
Do you know anything about it by chance?
Do I know about the hells or the ransacking?
Both?
No and no. But I can show you to what we have left over if you want.
That would be perfect, thank you.
Sure. As she's leading you down the steps out of this tower, back into the main area of the building, you head to the other tower on the opposite side of the building. So this is the second of 2 towers. And this one has a spiral staircase that goes up and one that goes down. And this one goes down. She heads down and goes down into a pretty... It seems like pretty well-guarded location. It's kind of strange to hear that this location was ransacked because she even takes this key, this like key that's wrapped around her neck on this necklace. She takes it out of her breast area, and it's like a bone key, and she puts it into this old-looking black door at the bottom of this stairway that you came down, and she unlocks this door and opens it up with this loud noise, creaking noise. And as you look into this room, she kind of like looks over to the corner of the room, and she takes one of the sconces, which is like a torch, a torch holder, and she waves her hand by it, and the flames perk up on the torch, lighting up the room. You didn't know that she had a little bit of magic in her, but it's basic magic to be able to light a torch like that, but she does light a torch and lightens up the room. The room does look pretty ransacked. There's books laying everywhere. A few of them are torn open, and it seems like most of the shelves are pretty empty. There's 9 shelves for the 9 layers of hell, and almost all of them have been knocked asunder, thrown to the side. There's like a ton of books laying around or ripped up pieces of them, but it seems like whatever they came in for, either they didn't find or they did find and took with them. Either way, whatever it is either gone or was never here.
Shit.
Yeah, she says, I know it's a mess, but I haven't had time to come down and clean it up.
Don't worry about it. Do you know who did this?
No clue. My boss said that it's nothing to worry about.
I'm sure it probably isn't, but that's interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was probably some kind of cult or something.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it can be scary, but most of those cults are pretty much failures when they rise up. Cult leaders, they're not very successful for the most part.
Yeah, kind of pricks, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely are. I hate manipulative people. She kind of shakes her head. Are you sure you want to be down here?
I think I've seen what I need to see. We can go back up.
Do you want to check anything out? Do you want to check out that map book or anything?
Can I do a check to see if there's anything I can find?
Sure, yeah. Roll me an investigation check, please.
Ooh.
It didn't show up on my end. What'd you get? Do you have Roll20 open, launched up?
I do. I pulled a 4.
Okay. So with a 4, looking through the rubble of books, and what you see here is just nothing of interest to you. There's a lot of knowledge about demons and the hells, but for your specific journey, you don't see much of use.
Nothing on Gorma.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, definitely not.
Okay. Then we can go back upstairs.
Okay. She's leading you up the steps. She says, "Are you sure you don't want that book of maps or anything?" She's trying to make sure that you don't,
Oh, is there a book of maps down there to look at?
She says, no, I meant the one for Vivian. Do you want that one or?
I mean, if you wouldn't mind me taking it.
Well, if you check it out, that means you've got to check it back in, right?
Yeah.
She kind of laughs and she kind of snorts. And she says, just wait here. Hold on. She says,
Okay.
watch this. And as she does, she kind of waves her hand. And as she does, this broom that's kind of next to her desk, you've come back into like the main domed room. This broom next to her desk kind of rises up like Fantasia and starts walking. And she says, can you go get the map book, the Vivian map book? It's in the right tower, the Holy Tower, Celestial Tower. And the broom kind of like nods, if a broom could nod, and then scurries up the steps. And she goes, isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
It's not my magic, but it's fun to play with.
Cool nonetheless.
Yeah. She's kind of like standing nervously next to you, like rubbing her arm, waiting for the broom to come back. So where are you gonna go after this?
Well, my party and I are looking for something, but I mean, I'd like to come back here at the end of my journey.
I'd like that too.
I've never met anyone like you. I really like you, Leia.
She kind of like, again, like rubs the back of her neck nervously, and she says, yeah, I like you too, Crocus. You're interesting, and you're really beautiful and funny, and I like your smile.
I like your smile.
She grins with her tusks kind of shine in the sunlight, and she says, how long do you think it'll be before you come back?
Not sure, but
Well, I've
hopefully
lived here all my
soon.
life, so I'm not going anywhere.
I'll count on that then.
As you say that, the broom is scurrying back. The book is in its little wooden splintered hands that it's got, as it brings the book over to you. You grab it, and Leah kind of nods her head, and she says, "Okay, I'll mark it down. Do you have a like, where are you from, so I can, in case the book doesn't get checked back in, I can send someone to come get it."
I forgot the name of the town that Crocus comes from.
I forgot to, but you tell her, and she writes it down in her ledger. She says, "Okay, I'm happy you stopped by, and that book, I've got to be honest, it's pretty important that you bring that back, okay?
I promise.
Not only do I want to see you, but that book is pretty special."
I promise I'll bring it back to you, no matter what.
All right. She kind of grabs you by the hands and like squeezes them, and she doesn't know whether or not to like kiss you on the cheek or not, but she's just kind of like holding your hands, and she says, "Okay, be safe, okay?"
Crocus kisses her on the cheek, and then she rummages through her bag, and she pulls out a tiny little black rock. One of my onyx pieces that I still have.
Okay.
She's gonna leave it with Leia as a little gift of, I'm coming back. I really like you.
Okay.
Here, have a
She
crystal.
grins. She grins and takes the rock from you, and immediately puts it on her desk, like kind of center between some other what looks like pretty important memorabilia for Leah. She places it right kind of center between some knickknacks that remind her of either home or people she loves or whatever. And she says, "Thank you.
See you soon."
Yeah. All right. Bye." And she kind of waves as you're leaving, and you scurry out. Shisa and Fergus, you've been enjoying your breakfast, just kind of chit-chatting. If you want to talk with the band, we can do that. Otherwise, we can have you just meet back up with Crocus as Crocus comes back to the bar.
I'm down to just meet up with Crocus.
Okay. Shisa, is that good with you, or you want to talk with anybody?
I'm fine.
Okay. So, Crocus, you open back up the door to the tavern. Shisa and Fergus, you are finishing up your meal as Crocus comes back. Golden, kind of thin golden book in Crocus's hands. And as the door shuts behind you, Crocus, what do you say?
Good morning.
Hey, where'd you go?
Crocus kind of runs up to Shisa and's like, I have a girlfriend.
You just went. So much has happened since I last saw you. You have to tell me everything when you have the chance.
We've got a long walk ahead of us, so I'll tell you all about it. But I also have a book. It's a book of maps. I don't really know. I wasn't really paying attention, but it's useful. That's for sure.
Well, that's two doses of great news. That's good on you, Crocus. We were just eating breakfast.
Breakfast.
Have you not eaten yet? Oh my gosh.
I should probably eat something.
Yeah.
Crocus sits down with all of them.
All right, so you sit down and have a little bit of food there, and all right. As you all finish up some food and just enjoy each other's company, Crocus, as you hand the book to Shisa, just for Shisa to look at, she says, "You hold on to this book of Vivian, this feeling of great connection with your mother kind of invades your regular thinking space. As you're looking through the book, you feel this drawing, this need to go visit some of these places and find out more of the mystery of how you were made and why, and what happened to Vivian's harp, and maybe what happened to Vivian in general, being one of the gods that was locked away in their artifact. You know some of the history of, all of you know some of the history of the gods and how they were locked away. Basically, the people rose up and decided that they were done worshiping the gods, and when that happened, the power weakened of all those gods and put them in a place where powerful mages, clerics, paladins, all those kinds of people could lock them away with their magic into those artifacts. But you know, those gods are people too, in a way. They are imprisoned, basically, and so you've kind of seen it with Lytropius, Fergus, when he speaks with you. There's this regret for not being able to spend time with you. Crocus, same with you. There's this, you've heard it from Moira. There's this longing to be released, but you can't do it yourselves, and you need them to help defeat Gorbok. You know that you just by the three of yourselves, you're not going to be able to do it yourself. So she said, as you're flipping through the pages of these maps, those harps that mark the different locations kind of call out to you. Go ahead and roll me, Shisa, roll me your choice. You can do history or religion check, either one.
I think I'm gonna do history.
All right, go for it. All right, with an 11. Looking through these pages, a couple of the spots stand out to you. So the first spot is, of course, the one that's nearby, this like abandoned kind of rubble of temple that you've been told to go visit. It's kind of your first lead. But two other locations stand out to you. One, excuse me. One is, give me a second here. Pulling up my map here. So, one of the harps is next to the ruined city of Thebes, the place you guys went at the start of your adventure that was destroyed by Gorbok. There is a harp near there. You're not sure for what reason. Oh, am I frozen for you guys?
No.
No.
No. I think it's just frozen.
Is it good now?
Frozen on the screen.
Okay,
oh,
I
not
think-
anymore. You're good on both sides.
Okay, cool. Yeah, one is the ruined city of Thebes, the one that you went to at the start of the adventure that was destroyed by Gormok. And then the other one is kind of far on a whole nother continent away from where you're at. It's in a place called the Silk Isles, which is kind of southwest from the continent that you're at. It's like this kind of series of islands known for their trade and also for their like entertainment industry. It's very eccentric there. It's the place that you'd find carnivals and all kinds of beautiful scenery and just places people would go to like take beautiful vacations. It's kind of like the Hawaii or the Bahamas or the whatever of this kind of world. It's called the Silk Isles. So there's another harp over there that's kind of calling your name. You're not sure why, but it's maybe a place to visit at some point to get some more information about your mom and the history of that. With that, though, are you guys ready to head out towards the ruined temple?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you gather up your stuff. You want to say anything to the band before you leave them behind? Also, has not come down yet for breakfast. If you want to take him with you, otherwise you can leave him behind too. Whatever you want to do.
Crocus is ready to go. He has nothing to
ready.
say to the band.
Yeah, likewise. I'm not that fussed about them.
What about?
Yeah, actually, I will go and speak to him because I know he was meant to be working. I can't remember what he was working on for me, but he was meant to be working on something.
He was working on something for you as like a thanks. He didn't tell you what it was. He said it was going to be a surprise.
Yeah, cool. I'll go up and see him. I'll like knock on his door and kind of like open his door.
Okay.
Be like, "All right, pal."
All right. As you knock on the door, you hear, "1 second." And as he says that, the door kind of creaks open and his long yellow snout kind of pokes out from the doorway. And he's not completely opening the door. He goes, What, Fergus? What is it?
I need to go soon, my friend. How's your little concoction coming along?
You're leaving now?
Not right now, but pretty soon, yeah.
It's not ready yet. I need, He kind of scratches his head. Well, I either need an extra day or I need a part.
Okay, what part do you need?
I need a 3x5 arcane socket.
And I don't suppose you know where I could find that.
Nope. But if you give me an extra day, I can get it done without the socket. Or you can go get the socket for me. He kind of like raised an eyebrow.
Give me 2 seconds. I have closed my character sheet by mistake. 1 second. I'm going to start walking down towards the bar area. I just tell that I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
And like, because it's lunchtime, I'm just going to like assume that the bar has started filling up a bit more. Just for like lunches, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just reopening my character sheet. Sorry.
You're all good.
Nearly there. Okay, and I kind of like, yeah, I like yell out across the bar. What was it he wanted me to get? A 3x4 arcane piece.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I yell across the bar. I'm like, everybody, listen to me right now. I have 350 gold pieces for the person who brings me a 3x4 arcane sigil within the next 30 minutes.
The bar kind of silences for you. One person, kind of younger teenage half elf, kind of stands up and he goes, "What's a 3x4 arcane sigil?"
Great question. If you have to ask me, then you're not fit for the job.
He kind of scratches his head. "What about a 3x5 arcane socket?"
Oh, yeah, that'll do.
He goes, "Oh, I can get that for you. I'll be back."
Yeah.
And then as he says that, another kid next to him goes, "No, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it." And then he like runs out of the door first and pushes the other kid down. And then like a few other teenagers who were kind of eating some lunch run out of the bar. Different races of teenagers just kind of run out, all laughing and pushing each other. These kids, there's no way they have money. So they're probably going to steal that. They could get in some big trouble.
Doesn't bother me.
I
I like,
town, right?
yeah. I like go over to Shisa and Crocus and I'm like, listen, I'm sure you guys have just heard, but if you can give me half an hour, that would be great.
That's fine.
Cool.
We're looking at this book.
Sweet. You keep studying the book. I'm gonna see what it has in store for us.
Okay. So about 45 minutes pass by.
Okay.
So a little bit over the time you wanted. But into the bar walks a large burly bugbear. A bugbear is like a kind of like imagine if imagine a Sasquatch. That's what a bugbear is. It's kind of like a Sasquatch with pointy ears. It's in the goblin family, but it's just a giant goblin with a furry body. But it's huge, and it walks in carrying one of the teenagers by his shirt, and it also carrying an arcane socket, a 3x5 arcane socket. The bugbear is holding it in between his two fingers on his right hand, and he's holding the teenager with his left hand. And he goes, "Which one of you sent someone to steal my socket?"
Respectfully, it was me, but I didn't send anyone to steal the socket. I need to buy it very urgently, very quickly, right now. So
the bugbear looks at you, like kind of looks you up and down. "It's 500 gold pieces."
No. 350.
He drops the teenager onto the floor and turns around and walks out.
Oh, fuck's sake.
He's not gone. If you want to try and catch up to him.
He has his back to me, right? Obviously, he's walking away.
Yeah, he's walked out the door already. He barely walked into the bar. He just opened the door and like yelled in basically, and then dropped the teenager off when he said that.
You know what? He's gonna disrespect me. I'll disrespect him. I have sneak attack because he's not paying attention to me. I'm not gonna use it though. I'm just gonna like sneak up behind him, like follow him out, because like I'm just imagining like the bar door is like flapping as he's walked out.
Yeah, you have a ring of invisibility that Queen Nephilim gave you.
Fuck it. Okay, so yeah, I'll. Well, I've also I'll put the. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll put the ring of invisibility on.
Oh yeah, it's on. It's not going anywhere. It's stuck on you.
Okay, well I'll activate it then. And then I'll run out after him and I don't know. Has he put it in his pocket? Advantage. Yeah. Okay. Fine. I don't think that's sent.
I did not get it.
Let me refresh beyond. Sorry,
You're not
roll
in, yeah, you're not in roll 20.
20. Yeah.
Got a launch game on that.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. And if I roll again. Come on, send it. Okay. Oh, wow. They both. Okay, fine.
All right. So natural 20, bringing you up to a 30 on your stealth check. Let me roll for him. Oh yeah, he doesn't see you. Yeah, I rolled. I definitely rolled. He definitely, he definitely didn't see you. Nice roll. So, as you come up, the thing is, the arcane socket is in his hand. So, you snatch it, and immediately the bugbear kind of turns and wildly swings his arm out backwards in your direction with disadvantage. He is going to try and backhand you. Oh, he rolls a natural 1 with disadvantage, an 18 and a 1. So the hand goes wide over your head, and you're able to slip away undetected from the bugbear. As you run back to the tavern, you open the door up and come back inside, still invisible. The door kind of opens. Crocus and Shisa, you see the door open, and you've seen this enough to know that probably invisible Fergus coming back into the room, but everyone else is like, is that a draft? What is that? As you come back in, Fergus, everyone's kind of like whispering about the door opening, but Crocus and Shisa, you're just kind of waiting for Fergus to reappear near you.
I don't reappear yet. I just go straight up the stairs.
Good idea, because as you run up, as you're like running up the steps, you hear the door to the tavern open, and the bugbear go, "Where is he?" as he swings the door open. And looks around. The bugbear looks around. Crocus and Shisa, you see, he looks directly in your direction, and he starts stomping over to you. As he's stomping, the whole bar is shaking. This bugbear is huge. And as he comes over to you, Shisa and Crocus, he gets down right in your face, very rudely, Shisa, right in your face, and spit dribble coming from his mouth, kind of almost flying over your face. Where's the fucking blue kobold?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, what blue kobold?
He slams his fist on the table. It snaps the table in half, and he looks around. The bartender kind of shrugs, and he says, the bartender's who's this kind of burly half-orc, says, "You know, you've got to pay for that." And the bugbear raises an eyebrow angrily. He's fuming, and he looks over to the stairs and starts stomping up the steps. Fergus, you're ahead of him, though. So everyone gets to do a thing that they want to do. So we'll start with Fergus. What do you do immediately as you go up the steps?
Okay, so I knock on door, and I like chuck the sigil in him, and I look at him dead in the eyes, and I'm like, "Hurry the fuck up!" And then I run into my room and jump out the window, so I'm like, I guess essentially like at the front door of the tavern again.
Okay.
Like kind of done like a loop, if you will.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me a stealth check. This time not with advantage, just a regular stealth check. Still pretty good. Shisa and Crocus, before the giant bugbear starts barreling up the steps, do you want to do anything? Do you want to cast any spells, say anything, do anything? I want to make sure you have the agency to do what you wish in this situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to talk him out of the bar.
Okay.
I'm
what do you say?
agreed. Let's distract him.
Yeah. What do you say?
I'm gonna tell him. I'm just gonna be like, listen, I don't know who you're looking for, but you're completely mistaken here. You just barged in here extremely rude and caused a scene, and I suggest you turn around and walk out right now.
Oh!
You've thrown my breakfast all over the floor. Don't you know? A girl's gotta eat. I'm a hungry little dude, man. That sucks.
All right, Shisa. First, roll me a deception check, please. God damn it with these rolls. You guys are so high right now. All right. 25 on the deception check. Okay, now roll me an intimidation check, please, with advantage because of your high deception check. So you get to roll twice, take the higher number on intimidation. Oh my god, what the natural 20. All right. So as you say that, the bugbear, as he's about to step up the steps, he turns back to you and sees the anger on your face, and he becomes embarrassed. The anger wipes from his face to realize where he's at and what he's doing and what he's already done, which is break a table and yell into someone's face. His anger again, it wipes, and he looks at you, Shisa, and he goes, sorry, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that to you. Sorry. He kind of takes a step down from the step he was on. He says, You sure you didn't see a blue kobold in here? I swear I saw one.
No, I don't. I think you're just mistaken, sir. I haven't seen anybody like that in here in a while.
Shit. Sorry, Lou. And he kind of waves at the bartender. The bartender says, It's all right, man. Just make sure you pay for the table. It's 20 gold pieces. And the bugbear kind of scratches the back of his ear as it wiggles. And he says, Sorry for ruining your breakfast. Pink one. And he kind of waves at you, Crocus.
It's okay, I forgive you. You know, happens to everyone.
Okay.
Gaslight!
So, he goes to step out of the bar, and good thing you rolled a 25 on your stealth check, Fergus. As he steps out of the bar, he almost makes direct eye contact with you as you slip behind a sign that is on the other side of the tavern. And kind of you almost like morph yourself to the shape of the sign, kind of like hiding yourself away from his vision. Yeah, exactly. And he looks over in your direction, kind of takes a whiff of the air. Fuck. And then walks away towards his presumable shop that he owns. And
Suck that. I'm not actually going to say that to him, though, because he'll turn around, but that's how I feel right now.
My girl boss gaslight gatekeep powers are immense and vast.
You definitely gaslight gatekeep girl bossed him. Okay. So, Fergus, Shisa, Crocus, as you all reconvene, the bartender, as you come into the front door, Fergus, and reappear into the bar, not invisible anymore. The bartender says, if he's gonna pay for that table, right? But you owe me.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I gotta look around the bar, and I'm like I just kind of shout, I'm like, listen, guys, I'm sorry. What I needed, that item was very important, and he was going to hurt that little kid, so I had to do what I had to do, but don't worry, everybody, breakfast's on me. And then I look over to the bartender, and I tip him 50 gold pieces, and I just give him a wink. And then I guess breakfast will cost 100, so I'll just take 150 gold pieces off myself.
Okay, that sounds good. As you slide that over to him, the bartender nods at you, and he says, no harm, no foul.
I just kind of nod and acknowledge him.
He swipes the gold, and you mark that off. Do you all want to go up to see what is working on, or what do you guys want to do?
I'm definitely going up.
Yeah. Do you want to join?
I'm gonna go up with them, but I'm gonna look at the bartender, and I'm gonna say, hey, hit me up if you need any lawyers anytime. You know, you witnessed my magic firsthand. I'm a little pricey though, I gotta warn you.
I did see that. That was pretty impressive. What's your name?
Shisa.
Shisa, you a lawyer?
Well, I'm a jack of all trades, to be honest.
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
The bartender kind of smiles. He said, well, if you're not, you should be.
Thanks.
Yeah. I'll give you a ring or whatever. He says, you going back upstairs, all of you?
Yeah.
Just for
Are you
2
paying for
minutes,
another-
just to.
I was gonna say, you get paying for another night, or
Nah, we're just collecting our bags and I think our friend's still asleep. So just gonna nudge him out of bed and we'll be out your hair, mate.
yeah, you mean the one that's been making a racket all night with the sparks and the fucking yeah.
Yeah, our favorite little tinkerer. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just a silly little guy.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
hopefully he'll leave with you.
Yeah, he will. Don't worry.
Yeah, all right. He's cleaning up the bar and lets you guys go up the steps. So as you guys head up to where the door is slightly ajar from when you threw the arcane socket into the room, and as you creak the door open, there's still some sparks flying. You see with a welder's mask on. It's actually shaped kind of similar to the way his face is shaped. It just kind of comes down over his snout, blocking his eyes. And he's welding on what looks to be a robot that he has created. It's a little makeshift, kind of rusty looking robot. It's not perfect by any means. To describe it to you, it's kind of orange and gold in color. It's got 2 legs, 2 arms, but it doesn't have like a head. Where its head would be is it's just the torso. So it's a torso with a big cyclops eye in the middle. So it's a one-eyed robot. It's got a little mouth, but the mouth doesn't move. It's just a light up kind of blue LED. And that's where the mouth is. So it's essentially just a circle. It's Mike Wazowski, okay? It's a yellow and gold Mike Wazowski robot, okay, to describe what it looks like. Now, it's, of course, I'm not making a Mike Wazowski joke. I'm just describing what it looks like. And as he's finishing it up, he puts that arcane socket right into where the pupil of the eyeball would be. And as he does, the whole thing like spurs to life, and the robot begins to move, and it kind of creaks a little bit as it does. It rotates its shoulder, and a little screw comes loose off the shoulder and falls down to the ground, and you hear go, oh shit. And he takes the screw and puts it back up into the shoulder and screws it into place. He welds a few more parts onto it, and he doesn't seem to have even noticed that you've come in. So he's busy working on it, not even seeing that you came in.
I kind of just do like the very like stereotypical dad thing where I like lean in and just like obnoxiously knock on the door, and I'm like, all right.
He looks, you say, are you winning, son?
Yeah, literally like same energy.
He looks back and he goes, well, you weren't supposed to. Okay. Well, yes, this is what I've been working on. I think he'll be a useful little companion for you. He doesn't even have a name yet, but this is what I call my Cyclops bot, and he's connected to what I call the World Wide Web. And he kind of smiles a little bit, and he says, I was trained many years ago by a guy who made this kind of arcane, this arcane flow that travels across the plane that we live on here, and he connects his robots to it. And this is my first attempt at kind of simulating something that he made for me. So check this out. And he stands in front of the Cyclops bot, which doesn't have a name yet, and he says, Cyclops bot, scan. And as the bot kind of looks at him, it tilts its torso-like head, and the arcane socket that you got lights up pink, and then this scans over And as it does, the robot goes, Kobold, age 12.
Okay. Right, okay, yeah.
And he turns around and goes, ta-da!
I'm just gonna speeches. Yeah, we all just start clapping. We're all like, right.
So, what do you think?
Yeah. Can I use it for anything else? Or
I mean, it's kind of like a companion bot. You can do all kinds of stuff. It can carry your weapons. It can scan things for you using the Arcane web, the World Wide Web, as my master used to call it. It doesn't know everything, only what's in the web, which is what my master knew.
are there any other commands? Can it attack? Can it pit?
Oh yeah, I gave it a weapon. He's got a big smile, and as he says that, he rummages around in an old-looking bag that he brought with him, and pulls out this attachment, and he unscrews the right arm of the robot and attaches this thing. And he goes, "I call it a laser beam." And he goes, "Robot, laser beam that!" And he points over to the bed of the tavern. Do you want to stop him before he blows it up?
Yeah, definitely.
The robot points the laser beam, and it starts lighting up. And what do you do?
I'm just like, whoa, stop.
As you say that, the laser beam fires and hits the bed, and he goes, "Dude, you gotta say robot, stop!" And as the laser beam fires and blows up the bed and lights it on fire, it's
This is becoming the most expensive inn stay of my life.
Crocus just turns around. I'm gonna go finish eating my breakfast, you guys. I'll catch up with you later.
Yeah.
The bed's on fire, and the fire's spreading as takes a towel and starts trying to stamp out the fire.
Oh my god, can't you like summon water or something, Fergus? What the fuck?
Yeah, I think I have the trident, and
Yeah,
I just kind of
you
like
do.
wave it around and just.
Yeah, you do, and it puts out the fire. You make a little rain cloud and put out the fire. The robot says, "What is your next command?" And says, "Actually, I'm gonna give you over to Fergus here. Fergus is your master now, okay? Little buddy." He taps it on the head, and the robot says, "Okay, Fergus, what is your next command?" And the kobold goes, "Actually, not only Fergus, but this one too. Shisa is also one of your masters. And the other one that left, Crocus, do you remember that one?" And the robot says, "No, I do not remember that one, Crocus. But Shisa, what is your next command?"
Oh,
What did you say?
I just said no. I don't want it to do anything.
I
I'm
do
scared.
not know the command. No.
I'm just gonna stay silent. I'm just gonna ignore it.
Oh,
I'll send a picture in the chat of what it looks like.
no.
Those of you who can see my stream, let me. You can kind of see a little bit in the chat box there, but I'll make it a little better here in a second. Let me send it in the Blood of the Immortals chat here. That's what it looks like.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Scared.
Yeah, he's a little creepy looking.
I love him.
Cyberpunk Mike Wazowski.
Kind of like a cyberpunk Mike Wazowski, yeah. Those of you who know D&D, it's a Modron, is essentially what has been created here. A wind-up Modron soldier. So, Fergus, did you give it a command? I can't remember.
No, I did not.
It says, "By default, I will follow you until I die."
Okay. What are your commands?
I can attack, scan, or do other basic household tasks.
Can you rest?
No.
Okay. Get in my backpack.
I can get in your backpack. It tries to get in your backpack. It's a little too big. It's about half your size.
Okay. Follow me.
I will follow you by default.
Okay. Only talk to me, Shisa, and Crocus. Crocus is our purple friend.
Okay, I will only talk to you, Shisa, and Crocus, your purple friend.
Perfect. Stand by.
Stand by who?
just, I don't know. Just relax.
I cannot relax.
Oh my god. He's created a monster.
I hate this thing. It's an abomination.
Total
I
form of anxiety, quite literally.
Silence.
I will be
Where's
silent.
the silent button?
Yeah.
There is no silent button. But
Oh,
I can
God.
be silent. Would you like me to be silent? Would you like me to
Yes,
stop talking?
please. Yeah, stop talking. Until
Okay,
we
I
talk
will
to
stop
you
talking.
next.
No more talking from me. I will stop now.
Perfect.
Oh god.
What's perfect? Oh, sorry.
Shush. Shush.
Sorry.
Shush.
I apologize. Am I forgiven?
Yes. Shush.
Listen, you shall not respond to us until we directly address you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. So you have you have a new little companion that can help you scan things and attack things until it's dead. It's somewhat sentient, but not really. Kind of. It's essentially just it's a mobile backpack for you that does cool things. Cool.
Very cool.
All right.
Kind of creepy, but cool.
Yeah. And I won't be super annoying with the voice or anything. It was just for fun.
No. Yeah, of course.
Be annoying with it.
But says so did I do good? Fergus?
Yes, you did great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you want me to come with you on this adventure, or do you want me to stay back?
Well, initially I thought you said you didn't want to be a part of us, but you're welcome to. You're welcome to continue.
I kind of made this robot to go in place of me, so that I could stay back here and keep working on stuff. But if you need me to go, I could go.
So the only problem is, you can't stay here. So maybe come with us to the next tavern and you can stay there. But there's been a lot of trouble at this tavern, and we've been politely asked to leave.
Oh, right. He looks over to the singed bed frame. He goes, sorry.
That's okay. I know you didn't mean ill. Let's just,
Right. Yes, these cities and stuff, it's not really my expertise. As you know. So, could you do me a favor? Could you ask your dad if I did good?
Yeah, sure. And then I like unsheath the trident, and I guess I kind of like hold it out to him, and I'm like, why don't you ask him yourself? I don't let go of the trident, but like,
Mhm.
I guess I kind of hold it up to him as if it's a microphone.
Okay. He wraps his hand around the part of the trident that's right underneath the like sporks, and he does speak into it, kind of like a microphone, and he says, "Hey, like Tropius, thank you, for everything. I hope I done something good for you and your son." And there is no voice that comes out, but instead a familiar looking jellyfish spirit kind of appears from the trident, and as it does, the jellyfish spirit kind of floats over to and lands on his head and gives him a pat on the cheek, and then it shapeshifts itself into a thumbs up made of water and does that for him, and kind of smiles, and he says, "Cool, all right, awesome." So I'll come with you guys to the next place, and then we can part ways from there. But I'll keep working on stuff for you. Maybe some stuff that can help you.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Thanks for everything.
Thank you. You've been a lot of help. As difficult as our relationship has been, you've yeah.
Well, it hasn't been all rainbows and butterflies, but yeah, it's been good to get to know another kobold and have a chance to follow the things I love doing. So thanks for letting me have that chance.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming.
He nods, and there is one other person who's come with you who's kind of shown back up in this last moments as you guys are heading out towards the exit to the tavern. A young man who has been following along with you. He comes up to you all, and he kind of waves at Crocus, and he says, I'm gonna go my own way. All right? Thanks for everything."
Oh. Crocus like leans down and just scoops him up. Most heart-wrenching hug right now to see him, like seeing your little child move on. Oh, he's moving on. You're
Trevor-
all grown up now.
Trevor gives you a big hug back, and he says, I'll be seeing you around."
Take care of yourself, kid.
You too. Good luck with everything, everyone.
You too.
Oh.
Trevor, who's done more damage than all of the band combined, walks away in his own way. I don't remember if you had already said goodbye to him, so I wanted to make sure you got one. So with that, you guys all head out towards the ruined temple, which is the next spot on your map. Comes along. The Modron comes with you. Do you have a particular name you want to give the Modron? Have you been thinking about it at all? It's a group
Let's
thing.
call it Bob.
Bob the Modron.
Bob the Modron.
Does that work with everyone, or do you guys want to talk about it in character? Sound good?
Okay, fine. Listen, I look down at the robot and I'm like, don't fucking talk back to me. But
It's following directions well now.
and then I like look at Crocus and she said, I'm like, I think this is a Bob.
He's definitely got the features of a Bob, you know?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. Bob?
I don't care what he's named, honestly.
Perfect.
I
And
don't
I
care
kind
what
of
I'm
like,
named either.
I kind of like tap him on the head. And I'm like, you're Bob now.
It doesn't respond to you because you told it not to. It's only responding to Crocus and Cheeser right now.
Oh,
Oh,
you're a little buddy now.
I like to be the little buddy.
You are the little buddy.
Watch this, little buddy. And then it like strikes a pose, like a.
Yeah!
All right, maybe it's not that freaky, but still scared.
I think giving it a cute name like Bob will help it seem less scary, right?
Do you know what Bob is backwards?
Yes, Bob.
What? No, what is
It's
it?
Bob. Isn't that funny?
That's crazy, man.
How does this thing know what is funny? I'm so confused.
I like this guy.
It gives like a fake like ha 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 ha, and then it like heats up and stops.
God, did we kill him? Did we break him already?
No,
I think Bob's okay.
Listen,
Bob,
I am okay.
Bob, go into low energy mode.
Bob is doing too much right now.
Did Bob have too much sugar?
Bob, do you know any songs?
Oh my
You
god, you're
any
encouraging
Scrabble
him.
songs?
I know one song.
Do you want to share?
Yes, it was my master's favorite song.
What's his favorite?
It goes like this. Pa 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 poker face, pa pa poker face.
Yeah.
It kind of starts doing a little jig, and it says, yes, it was his favorite artist, Lady Gay.
I love Lady Gay. That's great, Bob. Thank you.
Yes, you are very welcome. Did you know that the word Bob is a palindrome?
Yeah, Bob, you did tell us that earlier.
Sorry.
Hey Bob,
Yes,
what's race car backwards?
Oh,
it is race car. That is a palindrome, like Bob.
Yes, just like Bob.
I guess you could
Good
say I'm
job.
kind of like a palindrone. It waits for
How
laughter.
are you so self-aware? I'm not. This is scary.
Please laugh.
Ha
Thank you.
ha ha.
It points its laser at a random civilian and says, "Stay away from my friends."
Bob, bad, and
Bob, you can't do that.
I like slap him on the back of his head. I'm like, bad, Bob.
I am sorry.
What do you not do, Bob?
I do not point lasers.
At random people. At enemies, yes. At randoms, no.
How will I know if it's an enemy?
When I draw my bow,
What will you draw your bow with?
my hands, my arm.
Oh, I understand. You do not mean drawing like a picture. You mean drawing like readying.
Yes, exactly what I mean, yes. When
Very-
when we are ready for battle, you can use your laser.
All right. I am excited to use my laser on a bad guy.
I'm excited to see you use it on a bad guy as well, babes.
What is a babes?
Colloquialism, don't worry.
Ah,
It just means Bob.
It does. It means Bob.
No, it doesn't mean Bob, because if we go to a fucking tavern in Essex, he's gonna be confused as hell.
so I am a babes?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. I am a babes. I prefer Bob, though. It is a palindrome. Did you know that?
Yeah,
No,
we did. Yeah,
I didn't know that actually.
Can you think of any other palindromes?
Hannah.
Ah, Hannah. That is a name.
Mom, do you have a mom?
I do have a mom. Her name is
Dad.
Dad.
Wait.
Also a palindrome. Good.
What's your dad's name?
My mom and dad are both named. It's
That's
the
really
same
cool.
person.
Is also a palindrome, Bob?
No, it is spelled CHHHHHHH.
Can you say it reversed? We should probably get going.
Yeah.
Toward the ruined temple.
Is he also a GPS?
In 300 feet. Take a left.
Bob is a GPS.
He begins marching alongside you all. He, for the most part, doesn't speak unless spoken to. So he is a companion for you to use in the future. He's kind of like a little Swiss Army knife of tools for you to use. So with that said, that's where we're going to end it for today. And next time we'll actually pick up with the ruined temple. We'll just have you guys kind of arrive there at the start of the next session. Okay? Sound good?
Good to me.
Good.
Sounds good to me.
All right, y'all. It was good to be back. Thank you everyone for being a part of this. Thanks for all the support, all the gift subs today were amazing. Thank you so much. We'll check you out next time. This will be up on YouTube pretty soon. Again, Saturday, check in on Twitter. I would love some support on my announcement for the role I've been cast in for voice acting. So any support on that is helpful for my career in it too, because the more people that are excited about it, the more people are excited to have me voice characters for things. So thanks guys. If you like the voice acting in the show, you'll like the voice acting in the thing on Saturday. So I'm excited.
Vouch. I know what it is, but I can't tell you.
I want to know.
I'll tell you after.
Here's all the info. I'll give it to you now.
If somebody
tell you
gifts
everything.
1,000 tier 3 subs right now, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that
Real.
I'm all right. I'll break an
Also,
NDA.
Marcel's address is 1.
I will get docs for 1,000 tier 3 gifted. I'm all right with it.